Is that your advice for us this session?
Hello, everyone! We're live! I didn't hear your question. But, hey! I am Simon at Wandering DM. Welcome to tonight's Cyberpunk Red session. I will be GMing our group through a very chaotic night market. But first, before we delve back into the adventure, where we left it a week ago, I would just like to thank our sponsors very quickly, starting with Talsorian Games, the makers of Cyberpunk. Also, I want to give a shout out to Roll20, the platform that we use to play all of our games here on Wandering DM. And then, of course, to Found Familiar. If you are in need of great coffee, check out Found Familiar. And, of course, Dark Matter Press. Mage Press, the makers of Dark Matter, the sci-fi fantasy D&D campaign setting. That said, let's go around the table as we do each week, introduce the characters very quickly, recap our last session, and go back to our night market. Let's start with the people on the outer column this week, and we will begin with my friend Chris.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris Geary. You can, tonight I am playing Mr. White, aka Dr. Frost, and I only have one word for our recap, and it's called headshot. So,
speaking of headshot, our next person, Rin.
Hey, I'm Rin. I play Jinx. Who got that headshot? That was a nice headshot. Let's try and get another one this time, because yeah, that's it. I play crazy ass Jinx.
Next person, Deirdre.
Oh, hey, y'all. It is me, your friendly neighborhood Prax, and I get to play Chins. She will make it go to 11. She will make it better, faster, and is currently sitting on some dude that she's pinned to the ground through his clothes with a modified rebar temp pole spikes.
Following Deirdre, we have Hannah.
Hey, I'm Hannah, and tonight I'm playing Black Cat, the fixer, who seems able to fix things for everyone but herself. And in the last session, she got in a pretty good strike with the butt of a weapon, but not as good as that headshot. Nothing will beat that headshot.
And last but not least, we have Nino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Nino. I use he, him pronouns, and this game I play... Sorry, lost my train of thought. I play Jimenez. Also uses he, him pronouns. And he was not responsible for the headshot, but he was pretty much responsible for everything. Go ahead.
Your mic is cutting in and out, by the way.
Okay.
But that said, yeah, the crew attended a night market last week, and as they were, perusing some goods and going about, trying out the new tacos from the Taco Duck Emporium, meeting old faces and getting acquainted with new ones, Jimenez spied a group of Raf and Shiv, and I believe as White and Black Cat had split from the group to just walk around and talk shop with one of the vendors, Jimenez snuck up on the Raf and Shiv and literally threw one through a tent. And that started a brawl that turned into a firefight, and our crew were able to subdue and or kill multiple members of the Shiv. I believe you left one or two alive. There's the guy stuck in the tent poles, and there was the grappled, now unconscious person. The other ones were dead. We're picking back up at the night market with all of you surrounding the two Raf and Shivs. One of them is basically unconscious in White's arms, and the other one is pinned to the ground. I think he was still conscious, right, Trent?
Yep.
So
I dropped that guy. That's how I got his gun.
No, this is the Trins is sitting.
No.
You have
No,
Trins is sitting on
no. You said I had someone in my arms. I don't. I dropped.
No,
his
yeah,
gun.
yeah.
That's how I got his gun.
Yeah.
That's how you got the gun, and
Yeah.
Trins is sitting on the guy that Jimenez knocked prone, but he's still conscious.
Correct.
He's just pinned.
And bleeding.
And bleeding. And that's where we're picking back up today. You have one unconscious, one bleeding out person. Chickens are still running around everywhere. What few bystanders were next to the firefight are now poking their heads out of cover, trying to figure out if things are good, and seeing that things are probably looking good. They're coming back out of their hidey holes and replacing their wares, just making sure nothing has been misplaced, nothing has been stolen in the confusion. And the vibe of the night market picks up anew. Most people are unfazed by the violence that just happened. What do you do?
Jimenez is looking around. As folks may remember, he is dressed up as the Justice Mime, and he kind of felt like that would have drawn a little bit more attention.
Trins is also sitting on the guy, and she's got the agent up, posting to the garden of Justice Mime quotes and shots.
If you want to see if anyone recognizes you as the mime, you can always make a reputation check.
I think I will do that.
At a DV7.
That's is it plus my cool or is it
Yeah,
just
plus your
D10
cool.
plus my 14.
Yeah, so as the dust settles and, like I said, the vendors are going back to do their things, there is an older man. Chrome left arm. Cyber, half of a cyber leg, basically from the knee down on his right leg. Graying hair, short beard, looks like he hasn't slept in a while. Dressed in these, like old secondhand army clothes with just a like black windbreaker on, and he approaches you, Justice Mime, and says, "You're the man I saw on the data pool, or the mime person." I get it. I can't speak. That was some mighty impressive moves that you pulled back there. One would think that you're trained in these sort of things. Yeah, the fisticuffs. I like your style. Try not to get killed. And if it's not too much, could I maybe take a picture? And he keeps going his way, and like he makes sure to like circle around the bodies, looks at them as they're like lying down on the ground, gets to the one with the headshot, and goes, "Ooh." He keeps going, and that's when you notice he was the first out of a small lineup of people. A few yards away, there's like this small crowd, maybe like half a dozen people, but as you look, like more of them are starting to gather, and they're with their agents and trying to snap pictures or to film, but everyone's keeping their distance. I mean, there was a firefight not too long ago. They don't know if it's safe or not. The old man seemed to be unfazed by it all, but they are kind of a bit cautious. But you notice, yeah, there's a handful of people that have recognized the mime and are trying to snap pics of him.
At one point, he's just going to take the guy that Doc is holding up, and he's going to hold him.
He dropped him.
And he's going... Yeah. Oh, he dropped him. So he's going to pick him up, and then he's actually going to put a sign underneath his face that says, "Hey, dog killer." And then he's going to take a selfie with him, or a video, and he's just going to do this at the camera before posting it.
All right, threatening the Raffenshiv leader. Let me just add that to the notes, so that, if you ever ask me why you died. Okay. Yep. What does the rest of the group do? I mean, there's one of them that's bleeding out. If he doesn't receive medical attention soon, like, there are fairly good chances that he's gonna die.
We have one that's still not gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, Jinx is just like,
White's gonna kind of just like he wiped his hands like this and just kind of like wanders off toward wherever Black Cat is to stay out of the photo with Justice Mime and kind of make his way back into the night market.
Jinx is like giving a kiss to her again and being like, yeah, that was fun. And then she'll like walk over to like where Trent is sitting on top of the guy, like, is he at least
Rifling through his pockets and looking for loose change.
Oh, okay. Good job. But I mean, is he comfortable at least?
She kind of like bounces on his sternum. I wasn't planning on making him comfy.
Oh, okay.
There's a faint gasp of pain coming from him as you jump on his sternum. Inside his pockets, as just like spare change, you find $7 in like there's a 5 $1 bills and then like $2 in various change. And most of the $1 bills are covered in these like specks of dark brown red liquid. So with Black Cat and White going back to the rest of the night market, what happens to our prisoner? Are there any prisoners?
I don't think so. I think Jimenez is going to want to let one of them leave and return to his group. Justice Mine is, as well as Jinx for ruthlessly headshotting a fleeing guy.
He doesn't need his pants to do that, right?
No. But I mean, I headshot the guy because I didn't want him to go back to warn them. But I mean, we could always be gone by the time they come. Can we tar and feather him? Sorry, random thought.
Feather.
Yeah, feathers.
Maybe not tar. Ooh, I have some industrial adhesives in the truck.
You're gonna gorilla glue and feather him?
A little bit stronger than that, but yeah. Bonding agents.
Feathers, though?
They're chickens.
Yeah, the chicken.
One got shot.
I mean,
Wait, yeah.
yeah, I feel bad about that one.
He's not using his feathers anymore.
That's true. And I mean, I'm like talking the feathers on the ground. Like, I'm not going to kill more chickens.
No, you're not.
I said we weren't.
That was not the plan.
The vendor comes out of the tent, and he picked up the dead chicken in his hands, and he says, "You break it, you buy it."
You know, I was going to be nice and actually give you something, but...
Jimenez is actually going to open up his wallet because he felt that he, power bombed the guy through the tent and wrecked his entire stall.
Yeah, he's asking for $50 as a reparation.
He'll give it.
And when you do so, he just like unceremoniously shoves the chicken in your hands. He's like, "There, it's yours. I gotta go find the others." and this older gentleman dressed in nothing but a pair of overalls just walks into the night market going like,
Oh, it's not the weirdest thing that went on tonight, so. He will hand the chicken over to Trins.
as you do so, I would like everyone to make an awareness check, perception check. But Black Cat and Mr. White, you actually have a +2 on that check.
$22.
23, I guess, with +2.
Yeah, 23.
17.
Yeah, so you all hear it. I don't know why I'm asking for checks. You hear the rev of a minigun. And then the rapid fire of bullets. And just as it started, it stopped. White and Black Cat, you are walking through the night markets. You kind of have an idea of where it came from. The other three, because you're like at the back, you know it took place somewhere like closer to the front of the night market. But for Black Cat and White, the sound came from right next to the taco truck.
I've heard of people using a starting gun before to announce the beginning of an event, but that didn't seem to be right.
Good old starting minigun.
Yeah. I guess we walk that way.
Mm-hmm.
See what's going on.
You walk towards the gunfire and you notice this tall individual right next to the taco truck. Actually, you recognize him. You recognize Rambo McDonald. Ozub is there, rifling through a body that's in front of his tent. Everyone is just stunned. Complete silence as he hoists a bandolier of bullets and says, "Huh. Guess he didn't steal it after all." And just takes it with him into his tent. Catch, the fixer who organized this night market, the one dressed in like neon colors and the big jacket and all that, just turns to everyone and says, 2 for 1 tacos for the rest of the night! And like most people aren't really reacting to that. Takes a little bit of time before the customers begin to once again sort of have a life of their own.
That means that the line is really short right now, so
Yep.
White's gonna make his way to get 2 for 1 tacos.
The taco duck inside looks at you and says, "Hey, didn't I see you earlier?"
I don't know. I've been around the market for a bit.
You got a familiar face. Well, anyway, here's your tacos.
Do I recognize him?
You, no, you would not have seen him.
He's not the patient?
Nope.
Okay.
But he hands you 2 delicious tacos with organic tomatoes
Everything
on
but
it.
meat.
Everything but the meat.
I'll turn to Kat and say, "You want tacos?"
I'm good.
Okay. Then he'll start eating tacos and walking around the market and say thanks as he left behind, I don't know, probably 10. I have no idea what he's charging.
Oh, it's 5.
I just drop that. That's fine. He just drops 10 on and goes.
The band that had stopped playing, looking at what was happening, just You see them out of the corner of your eyes, look at each other again, nod, and then count down, 3, 2, 1, and they start playing again. And that's when sort of life comes back to into the night market.
Where's this fixer?
He's in the middle of the way between the stage and the taco truck. He basically acts as these, those people that are paid to like flip signs on the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically doing that.
Well, I'm gonna go talk to the fixer. I still don't understand what the big reveal is. Like, I'm eating a taco, trying to figure out why am I here.
Oh, hey. Do y'all like them?
They're all right. Be better with some organic meat, but pretty good.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be some big reveal, something like that. So far, I've only heard gunshots and had tacos.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
No, you actually got more than what you bargained for. The big reveal was the Taco Emporium, right? That's why everyone is coming here tonight.
Oh, I thought that was a front for something. Like, really, it's just about the tacos?
Oh no. Yeah, it's a front for something, but we'll talk about it later. If you're here for the thing, we're just give it a few more hours. We have a few interested parties coming over.
Hours?
Maybe an hour or two. And you see his eye, like his left eye, start twitching up and down. He's like, wait a minute. Yeah, hey. So, when's everyone coming? Yeah, no, I don't need to know. Okay. Yeah, where are you? All right. Okay. Give me. Cool. All right. About a half hour, they said.
I'll see if I can entertain myself that long.
I mean, you've got Ether Wave right there. They're a good band, right? Good band.
I'm the reason that band exists.
Wow.
And he'll just turn around and walk away.
And you hear him as you walk away, you hear him shout, like, "Are you their agent?"
I'm their surgeon.
Nice. And then he would turn back and, keep trying to direct people and welcome people.
I turn to Kat and be like, I mean, the band has gotten better. I'm flattered that at one point the lead singer actually, wrote a song that you could kind of call a song in gratitude. But I don't know that I would have booked them.
Maybe they're part of the big reveal, whatever it is. Maybe it was important to have that particular band.
Maybe. You know anything about that fixer? I've never heard of him.
No, jumpy little thing, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Seems weird. You think it's just going to take place right there in the middle of everything. This big whatever it is.
Well, the way they made it sounded like it was going to be something important, but this looks like a regular night market. I'm not really getting a vibe that there's anything of value here. Other than your typical fare. Anything you're looking for? We can go stall shopping.
Not in particular. I mean, it would be good to look around, see what's different this time from last. But other than that, it's mostly just a waiting game at this point. It seems like so much effort to get us down here for tacos.
And this thing.
But he didn't even talk about the thing until you pressed him. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Makes you wonder who else was, given the information to, you should really get down here, and talk to press about it, how many people are going to be there.
Where did we get this invite again, Simon?
The invite was sent to every person with connections in town. So you would have
blast.
You would have received it in multiple copies from multiple of your contacts.
This feels more like a late night infomercial than it feels like an actual deal.
You think
Well,
they're going
tacos
to
ain't bad.
try and sell us something other than the tacos?
I think that they think they have something of value that they can auction off if they just get enough people here, and that somebody with enough money will make them rich. But that seems dangerous to me. When you send out a wide blast like that, the people you don't want to know what it is that you're saying, and the people you do want to know don't know what the heck you're talking about.
I mean, if it is something of value that they're auctioning off, then it's worth waiting around to see what it is at least. And if there's some shady characters who show up as well.
True, except value is relative. It could be of value to you. It could be of value to Rambo McDonald. It could be of value to the chicken farmer. But that doesn't mean that it's of value to all three of you at the same time.
Well, if it's of no value to us, then we can just leave. Lose, half an hour?
Yeah, that's why I said we can wander around, see what everybody else is up to. Unless there's something you want to go buy.
Not in particular, but are we just going to let the gang members run free without trying to figure out anything from... I mean, they're just shopping as well, but...
Usually when they want me to interrogate somebody and they have the stomach for it, they tell me. I didn't get the vibe that they wanted me to get any information out of these guys.
Okay. I trust you.
They can always take them back to the RV and I can be there whenever.
And, yep. Speaking of being there whenever and interrogating people, let's go to a different location and see what the rest of our crew is up to.
So did we do the thing? Huh?
Shifting down to his skivvies, and then chemical bonding agents and chicken feathers.
So while the
And
other
glitter.
one is bleeding out slowly on the ground, you're tar and feathering one of them, who's still, concussed, and getting, coming back to his senses. And by the time you're done, just looks at all of you in a panic. What is it you're doing to me?
Making you sparkly.
The fuck is that supposed to be?
Chicken feathers and glitter.
Why?
Because we feel like it.
Also, did you know that these are UV reactive? And she kind of waves a little UV light over the glitter.
As you do so, he jolts just a bit, thinking that, the reaction is going to be something painful. but then uses that little boost of energy to take off in a sprint. And so you have this mostly naked man covered in feathers and glitters just running down the night market.
You might want to be careful. Your back door is open.
And I mean, even White and Black Cat would see as they walk by, like a naked man covered in feathers and like part feathers, part glitter, just sprinting away. He gets in a car, tires screech, and he drives off into the night.
I mean, I did have a question, but okay, whatever. They are so gonna come after us.
There's the one who's still bleeding. He's over there. I got some duct tape if we want to just like patch him up that way until the doc gets here.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I guess we could patch him up and ask him.
He dead.
Oops. Never mind. So, what else are we doing here?
Mm.
It's about that time White will send a message on the Chiron to everybody going, so the thing we're invited here for is a thing, and he puts it in quotes, but the fixer won't say anything more than that other than another 30 minutes or so before something's supposed to happen. This feels very disorganized. I don't like it.
There comes maybe like a few seconds after, like you're all looking at each other, just wondering, okay, so why are we here for? What is supposed to happen? And the ground shakes. There is a bright light in the sky and the loud sound of an explosion.
Hey, GM.
Hmm?
Could I determine what exploded?
A building.
Yeah, but what was the detonation substance? C4, dynamite, chemical explosives,
I mean,
gasoline.
you make a demolition check. It's gonna be rather hard because it's from the sound alone.
Also lights.
Yeah, but you're at the other end of the night market. And this is happening
20.
across the street. Yes, you would know that it is not a it is not C4. It is not a controlled explosion. It is, let me just try to find it. An uncontrolled explosion. Maybe along the lines of like a chemical explosion more than like a grenade or even a like even C4 where it would be controlled. There's a lot of fire going up, fire and smoke, and the building is just collapsing upon itself across the street. People are shouting, people are running. A lot of the vendors are just packing up their stuff as fast as they can. Amid the confusion, you notice a bunch of people are like gathering closer to the site of the explosion. And there's a second one going off, smaller, but it forces people to move back, or it actually blasts them back from what it is. And for the three of you that are at the back of the night market, you see this old man that met with X earlier comes running back. Hey, mime guy. I don't suppose you're good with explosives, are you?
He's pointing to Trins.
He says, and remember you're under the overpass, right? There was the scaffolding and back and everything. And he points to not this part of the overpass, but like the next pillar. It says somebody set this shit to explode.
Oh, more explosives! Is it? And she kind of like turns to looks at him, and is like, so I know we were kind of having fun, but is it okay if I go play with the explosives now? Okay. She goes, she kind of almost skips away.
You don't think we should follow her and protect her backhand? Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna follow her. And then do whatever you want. So Jinx will go and follow Trent.
Jimenez will follow too, but as the camera's following him and he goes behind a tent, he mysteriously returns back to his Jimenez outfit. Not so mysteriously. I just wanted a cool cinematic effect, so.
What about White and Black Cat? You, the two of you are, if I have to place you somewhere, we'll say like halfway between the rest of the party, the rest of the crew, and where the explosion came from. And you saw it. It is massive. Like, we're talking like an 8-story building just went up in flame.
And did we see what caused it from our different vantage point?
I'd ask an awareness check for that. Because you could have, but it would be like at the very last second before it blew up.
Okay. 17. There we go.
Cat actually saw it.
Mm-hmm.
The taco truck itself.
Exploded?
Rammed a building and exploded. Taking the entire... Well, not taking the entire thing, but basically it rammed the, like, first floor, broke through part of the first floor, exploded, and the shockwave sent the building crumbling on the next one, then toppled over.
Did you see that? Did you see the fucking truck? It just took it, like, boom! It just took out the whole building because there was who was living there? Why would they do that?
I have no idea. And you'll see at this point, because White didn't see it, White's on his agent actually calling trauma team to find out if they've been dispatched yet. And if not, getting people here as fast as possible, letting them know an 8-story building went down. There's got to be at least one license in there. None?
The first building, they'll tell you, is empty. It's
Okay.
disused. The other one, there might be people in there, but no one with a card.
No one with a card.
No.
Fair enough. Just checking, because that's a lot of people. And he'll hang up. Well,
Why bring us all out there just to see it self-destruct? What is the point of that?
I don't know, but nobody's coming to help those people in that building. So
You don't
I
have
guess-
connections?
They are connected with money. If there wasn't at least one person with a card, there's no way I can get anyone dispatched out here. If there's no way I can get anyone dispatched out here, I can't manipulate the rest of the circumstances. So, because I don't have the power to send an ambulance.
Do I have the power to send an ambulance?
Well, I mean, anyone can just try to call 911. However, knowing where you are currently, and knowing how Night City is, chances are that the ambulance will not get here on time.
Wait. Because that's not going to be an AV if it comes through 911, right?
No, it's going to be a car, like an ambulance, a regular, ground-bound
Yeah.
ambulance.
Fine. Okay, this is as good a time as any to use it. White's going to walk over to... White's going to run to the building.
Cat will follow.
So that means in regular walking terms, you're power walking?
I'm using all 3 of my movement.
He's taking longer strides. Mostly, it's not
Yeah,
that he's
I'm fully striding out. I'm putting those grandmas on Sunday mornings at the mall to shame.
Mm-hmm. And you are heading that way. You notice Ketch
Mm-hmm.
and the taco duck and another person hopping into a car driven by a young woman, and the car just zooms away.
From my research on our tenant that died,
Mm-hmm.
I recognize that woman, don't I?
Yes. She's not the one... Oh, no. Sorry. The other person you recognize as... Yes, the other person is Jewel.
Yeah.
But the driver is a woman that you've never seen.
Okay.
And they're not being taken or anything. However, you notice something on the surrounding... surrounding building. On a nearby building, there is a crouched person. Very hard to see. Their clothes are like, dark blue.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing, what is probably a heavy armor jack
Yeah.
and a long rifle. And that person is just sweeping the site of the explosion. In fact, there's a few people in the crowd that aren't panicking, stressing, anxious. And you've worked with them before as part of trauma team. Well, you worked with them. You know what they are. They are corporate hit squads. And they're melting into the crowd.
Gotcha.
But they're still trying to surround the building. They're not fleeing, is what I meant.
Can I, with my agent, can I snap a couple images of the ones I notice
Yeah.
as I'm headed over?
Yeah, compared to a lot of the edge runners and the other customers that are down on their luck with not a lot of possessions in the world, these people are coordinated. The top and the bottom pretty much fits a uniform more than just haphazard clothes that you just found in a bin or something.
No, it makes sense. And even the ones that are trying to look like they're disheveled, it looks like they're purposely disheveled.
Yeah, well, strangely enough, they're the ones wearing armor on their heads.
Oh, well, that tells you everything.
Like helmets and such.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know they're bad guys. They're wearing something on their head.
I even left my helmet at home for the night market. So
I mean, who the hell wears something on their face?
hey, I always wear my shades.
Well,
anyway,
yeah, but it's not armor.
when I make it to the building, I want to try and get to a person, anybody, doesn't matter who, from one of the buildings that has people in it.
I mean, both of them have crumbled like on top of each other, so it's just a big rubble area. So you rush in. You'll get to a person, someone who's trying to extricaate themselves. Ooh, trying to crawl out of a hole. Extricate. Thank you. Trying to extricate themselves from under a shaking and slowly crumbling sort of structure, like a tent structure of concrete and drywall that is slowly breaking and falling down. But they seem to be so wounded that they only have one arm working, or maybe like you don't see what happened to their legs or anything, but they're like crawling out using just the one arm, trying they're wiggling more than crawling.
Well, White's gonna help if Cat wants to. Cat can help too. We're gonna pull them free, and White's gonna, while he's pulling them free, he's gonna pull, and he's gonna do it as inconspicuously as possible. A trauma team card that he owns to an alias, snap it, and stick it in this person's hand.
You wait 1 heartbeat, 2 heartbeats, 3 heartbeats, and all of a sudden you hear the echo of sirens in the distance.
Everything's gonna be fine. You just gotta hold on for me. And he's gonna do whatever he can to slow the bleeding so that they will survive when trauma team gets here. And then he's gonna take off. We gotta find the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
Before you take off, I'll use your past perception checks so you both notice some of the hit squad have split from the rest of the crowd, and they're now walking onto the rubble searching for something. You notice that many of them have in one hand a flashlight, and the other is all either like hovering over a holster on their thigh or clutching something like close to the flashlight, like they're probably holding a flashlight on top of a pistol and looking through the rubble.
White's calling trauma team back. Who's dispatched?
I think it's Unit 137 tonight.
Tell them there are bogeys here, fully armed. It's a corporate hit squad. They should come in and be with, extreme prejudice. Click. Hangs up and keeps going. Fuck them.
What do you think they're looking for?
I don't care, but if they had anything to do with what just happened, I hope that minigun ends every one of them. I have no idea how many people are in that building, but they didn't deserve this shit.
Meanwhile, because I need to pause this here, because White and Cat might see another explosion. So meanwhile, the old graying man, by the way, he introduced himself as your running to the site. He's running out of worry for the safety of everyone. Trince is probably running out of curiosity and joy. But he introduced himself as Ken.
Is your wife named Barbie? Or Skippy? Or Skipper?
My wife's dead. Long time
Oh, I'm
ago.
sorry. Was her name in Barbie?
No.
Okay.
Look, it's right over here, and he brings you to. It's this column is in a serious state of disrepair. Like the top of it has crumbled down. You can see the rebar inside, and it's instead of being a straight pillar, it tends to escalate up to a point almost. Like you're wondering how long it'll take for it to fall naturally. The entire pillar this time is surrounded by these like very, very tall scaffoldings. And through the scaffolds you start to notice like someone tried to camouflage wires and tubes running all around the pillar. And then you see them. Like plastic bottles. You see a detonator. Multiple pieces of these like bars that you recognize as plastic explosives set up on the base for maximum destruction.
So they're not just trying to bring this shit down, they're trying to explode it outward and create shrapnel problems. These people suck, man! They're not cool at all. And she's like saying that out loud as she's talking.
You notice the place is deserted, but there are like massive, like we're talking like tractor tire tracks leaving the site. Otherwise, there's a few like sort of flimsy barricades for construction sites around. There's a container that's been open and even like turned over. Smells a little bit of piss and booze, but otherwise there's Ken, you, and then behind you Jinx and M&S.
Cool.
Ken says there's a timer right over there.
Yeah, that's going to be secondary. We're probably dealing with alternating. I need to find the alternating system because dealing with the timer is secondary. And she kind of clicks through the Chiron. Hey, anybody got an extra JAMA on them? Oh well.
I always
can
have
make
a
this work.
JAMA on me.
Yeah, but you're not here.
Nope.
All
But
right.
that would be the response, is I always have my JAMA on me.
Don't want to get too close right now. I'm about to break a lot of stuff and possibly play with toys that people don't like me playing with.
Just don't get blown up, because I can fix anything but death.
Not gonna get blown up. They left all this stuff behind. I'm taking it with me. They're also really not cool. Honestly, they were trying to make this all shrapnel. Do you know how much a big problem rebar is shrapnel? Leaving alone all the concrete that's going to get pulverized and cause a major dust cloud. That's just a breathing problem all in and of itself.
Lady,
And she's
less
just
talking. Less talking, more demolition, please.
It's a corporate hit squad. Of course they're doing that. They're assholes.
Ken is
Also
freaking
seriously unprofessional. And she's like pulling mini screwdrivers out of her hair. Like, they're like...
out. Can you make a demolition check? Without working on it yet. It's just like the first good look that you're gonna have up close.
I'm gonna spend 2 of my luck on this.
Alright, DV I'm looking for is 20.
27.
Okay, sure. None of
Simon,
that are
I should just tell
explosive.
you with my demolitions, unless I crit fail, I can't roll below a 20.
Oh, okay. Well, good thing then. None of it are explosives. You look at it from up close, and like you have to know what you're doing. The liquid, this like silvery gray liquid, is just silver paint. Something inside the plastic bubbles, probably connected to the wire in the tubes, is what makes the little bubbles move inside to look like it's, I don't know, like a chemical of some kind. You follow the wires, you follow them to the plastic explosives set everywhere around. They are... So that's something even, like with your 27 or even your previous check, you know, like I said, they were placed at the exact places where it would cause the most damage. So whoever set up this fake thing knew what they were doing. And Ken is just utterly confused as to why you're not doing anything. The plastic explosives are fake. Again, it's just dyed like this like sticky, like the blue sticky things that you, how'd you call that again?
Silly putty?
Yeah, sort of like dyed silly putty.
Play-Doh?
Sort of. That's been like affixed to the pillar, and then these like rectangles of plastic. Just like 3D printed, realistic looking C4. All over the place. And you're not too far away from the night market. Yeah, blue tack. Yeah. You're not too far away from the night market that, like, it would be impossible for someone to see it. And looking at how the overpass, is constructed, it's easy to think that if you saw this bomb, you could think that the entire place would crumble upon the night market. Whoever made this here intended to scare the people at the night market. Why, you're not sure. Yet, even with that 27, you're just checking the demolition aspect of it. But clearly it is made so that even someone who has, it would fool people with even a certain amount of knowledge in demolitions and explosives. Not you, but, your average, let's say, Night City cop would have believed it was explosives.
I mean, that's not exactly a high level of intelligence there.
No.
I mean, Max Tech, maybe. She kind of sighs, walks over, and nonchalantly just rips the timer off the thing.
Lady, what are you doing?
It's not gonna blow up. And she's gonna start... She sends a message through the Chiron. It was a decoy. Nothing's gonna explode and I don't get new toys. That's not true. I'm gonna take all of this. They're being assholes. I'm gonna take all of this wiring. And she just starts pulling it.
I'm glad you are safe.
Mm-hmm.
Just as an aside to Jinx, Jimenez is just going to whisper, "Wow, I haven't seen her this disappointed since she was tossed in jail that night for interrupting that match."
And I know, right?
But also the fact that she's grabbing all this wiring. I don't know. Maybe we're going to need to have a talk with her about the hoarding that she's been doing.
Thank God we have apartments that aren't being used right now.
Side note, it's only hoarding if she doesn't use it. She's used everything she's ever appropriated for all of you all.
That we know of. There's probably apartments in that building that are stocked full of stuff that Trins has found that she swears she's going to have a use for one day.
That said...
Why a decoy? And this fancy?
So the stupid corporal killer people can cause us all to panic and run away from their actual damage bullshit. Ugh. And then she kind of turns and looks at Ken and glares at him and is like, "Are you in on this stupid prank idea?"
Oh, hey, don't look at me. That way I'm actually a friend of the guy who organized this whole thing. I legit thought it was a bomb.
Hey, Trins, maybe they were doing the thing that they did in the Die Hard with the Vengeance, where they set up that whole fake bomb in the schools to distract the cops from what they were
Yeah, that
really
means
intending to do.
Yeah, it means somebody somewhere is robbing the Federal Reserve. That would almost be cool.
Yeah, but the Federal Reserve is in Washington, D.C.
No, it's not.
It's in New York. I don't know where it
there's one
is,
in-
but it's not in Night
the-
City. Putting a bomb under an overpass in Night City is not going to work. Simon totally knows where all
They
the...
didn't even use like and just like turn to Jimenez and be like, they didn't even use soda syrup for this. It's just water and paint.
Okay, if we go out and get you some real C4 and real, is that gonna make you feel better?
I mean, we're here at the night market. We might as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Except nobody's still here. They all left because of the actual explosion.
Yeah, Ken would add, do you think that this was meant to be a distraction from that one?
Well, if it was, it didn't work because we're the only people here.
Yeah, I need to check on my friends. Sorry for scaring y'all. And he heads back into the, into what remains of the night market. As he leaves, you would see the one AV from, Trauma Team sort of approach the scene. The sirens go off, the PA system tells people to move, and then it starts shooting. And you hear return fire, a few heavy rounds, probably from more than just handheld rifles. And that's when you notice there is a second AV coming in very quickly. And this one actually veers off from the rubble and heads in your collective direction under the overpass. It is all black, tinted windows. Looks like someone removed the entire paint job from this vehicle. But on the side of it, you can see a circle with a 3-pronged branch. The old logo of Arasaka. And it, hovers down towards you. The door opens. The seats are empty. But it seems to just stay there and wait for you to hop in. We're going to take a short break while you decide what to do. And we're going to come back in about 5 minutes. Y'all, stick around. We'll see just where this whole thing was leading after the break. Hello! There's an AV waiting for the group.
That there is.
The door is open. The motors are, let's say, lowered. It's just hovering a few feet off the ground.
White'll stick his head in and go, I thought I ordered a combat cab. And then he'll get in.
Cat will get in after White. Is this a friend of yours? Another person you've called in?
No idea, but I'm hoping to make a new friend.
It is empty inside. Luxurious seats line up the inside of the AV.
No driver?
The driver seems to be behind a black reflective glass.
Okay.
It's like a smaller limo. And
Okay.
when the car feels weight in the back as you and Cat come in, a little compartment between the seats opens up, and a sort of a tray, secure so that it doesn't spill all over the place. But there's a bottle of wine and a few glasses. And there's a soft shamisen music playing.
I promise. I'll turn to Cat and go, I promise this is not a pickup line. What? And I don't know that I would drink that either. I don't know where it's been. The rest of you coming?
I guess so.
Fins pulls out.
Things goes.
Fins pulls out Benedict and clicks activate remote security system on the truck. If my paint gets dinged because of this, I'm going to sue. And then she'll get in.
Jimenez is just going to shrug and hop in.
The car door closes, and the AV flies off.
I assume this is because of Kiyoshi saw, but we'll see.
Let me just do a little thing here.
So, like, why were there corporals at the night market?
They were hunting for somebody.
Hmm.
I got photos of them, and I'll share the photos with everybody. At least the ones that I could see. When I saw them climbing all over the pile of rubble with their guns out, I gave Trauma Team a heads up to come in live, since there were armed people on site and not friendlies.
Oh, that explains the gunfire. Well, at least part of it, anyway.
I hope no one on Trauma Team got hurt. But I assume that hit squad had something to do with the explosion.
You make your way. Well, you don't know where. But as the AV goes up in the sky, it starts raining. The soft music is still playing. And then you hear from the PA inside the AV. Please cover your eyes with the provided blindfolds. and like out of the ceiling there's a compartment that opens, and you know, like these oxygen masks that normally fall down in a plane, like it's just a rack with these like sort of rubbery like bandanas to put over your eyes. And you notice the AV begins to just turn and circle.
I wonder how much fuel they have.
Trin just puts it over her eyes, kinda, and then just closes them and goes like, "Wake me up when we decide what we're doing."
Menace is just going to put his on and just say, kinky.
I don't particularly like the thought of someone else knowing where I am better than I do, but sure.
Jinx puts it on.
Fine, I don't usually go this far on the first date.
And the moment you put them on, there's another like window that closes. You hear it, and if you peek under your mask, you notice that you can now not see a damn thing outside. Once everyone
just so you know,
exercise.
White puts the shades over the top of the mask.
over there, yeah, of course. And then the AV stops circling, and you feel the motors just go as it picks up speed and like leans a little bit towards the front and flies for a couple minutes in a straight line.
I mean, if this really is Arasaka, they can't be inside city limits, so what do we expect?
It's
As long as it's not radioactive when we get there.
Agreed. I didn't bring those pills. At least I don't think I brought those pills.
no,
I'll have
it's
to check when we get there.
it's about oh boy. Let me grab an actual map of outside Night City for a quick second. I think it takes about a half hour, but it might be more. Yeah, it's gonna take 3 hours.
Three hours with a blindfold?
Yep.
That is kinky.
Friends who can totally fall asleep in this because it's just an engine, just says out loud, "Benedict, start playing Shakira." Oh, no, J-Lo.
Playing old classic music. And yeah, 3 hours later. The motors begin to slow down. And the voice says, "You can remove your blindfolds."
Thanks. This really isn't the combat cab I ordered, is it?
You hear just a chuckle before the PA closes. The windows begin to lower as the AV flies across a canyon between two steep mountains. It veers, flies up, and you notice the entire place is covered in solar panels. Like, it's almost just a sea of glass down there. There used to be a river, but it's not there anymore. And the AV lands on top of one of the hills, and you notice this as you approach, like a concrete and glass building, circular, with an inner courtyard. So it really is like shaped like an O. Part of it looks disused, but part of it looks like it's been freshly renovated. The renovated part, like the windows are all blackened, like all tinted. And the AV lands on a pad in the, like sort of, let's say, like old parking lot there was. And there is a familiar figure waiting outside. Hands crossed together around his navel, just resting his hands on his belt buckle, wearing a light gray business jacket over a striped turtleneck, black and white, black pants, and freshly shined dress shoes. The familiar figure of one Kiyoshi-san.
When you said that we needed to take a vacation, I really didn't pick this spot. I was thinking beaches.
Ooh, were those people that bring you the little drinks, the little umbrellas in them?
Yeah, something like that.
See, there we go.
We are a little low on umbrellas. But that is not why I... Oh. And he looks at Black Cat. Did something happen to your superintendent?
No, she is otherwise indisposed. This is Black Cat, a recent addition to our group.
I trust she will be kept to the same level of secrecy.
Yeah, Black Cat understands that words matter, and keeping your word matters. Right, Cat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Stand down. And you would notice a red bead on Black Cat's, like over her heart, just go out. Please, follow me.
So before we go in, does Jinx know where we are? Because, I mean, she travels everywhere, so...
You've been there before. You've been here before. Not this exact part, but like the sea of solar panels reminds you of Death Valley National Park. You are basically a few, maybe like an hour's ride away from the Nevada state lines. But you also know that from where you are right now, Jinx, there is nothing for miles around. If anything happens here, no one's ever gonna know. So Kiyoshi turns around, heads confidently to the building. And says, I don't suppose any of you have drank from what was provided on the way here.
No, we didn't know if it was you that sent us or another hit squad.
It was me. It would have given you a wicked hangover.
Okay.
When he approaches the doors, like two people inside, armed personnel, open, like swing open the doors, the glass doors. And
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, I didn't realize Kiyoshi was into roofies.
Kiyoshi is into security. A lot of things have been happening lately. Everything is moving a little too fast. It is hard to keep up with what happened in Night City.
Understandably so. Your people seem to be moving a little fast and a little reckless lately, too.
Ah, you mean the afterlife?
Yeah, it didn't take very much skill to be able to figure out who was who.
No. It was intended to be a message. And he turns to you with a grave face and says, "No one takes my daughter away from me."
Ah. That I can understand. But why? Why does the Raffenschiff care about your daughter?
Oh. This is also why I have you here. But come, let us speak in a more comfortable place. And he motions to a room. It's a conference room. Like, you have this long oval table. There's a projector on it with a well, it's like a holographic projector in the middle. So you have like these 3 cameras coming out. Most of the neon lights in there have been broken ages ago. The place has been dusted, but you realize, like, it very much feels like this place is in construction.
Renovating,
again,
I see.
Clearing the place out of the previous tenants. No one would like to catch rabies in their sleep.
No.
Plus, your friend left Night City, and he looks to White. Your friend left Night City with a little message.
Which friend?
Miss Cunningham.
Oh. Yeah, she sent me a message. I didn't know she sent you one, too.
No. She sent Militech one. We could no longer stay hidden in Night City. Now, I believe I owe you an explanation.
I don't know that you owe me anything. But I did ask a question.
Yes. You see, years ago, many, many years ago, we had covertly hired. Well, let me rephrase that. I had covertly hired a clan of nomads to carry something for me. Something very precious.
Your daughter.
No one could know where she was. In fact, and he turns to the Jinx. Not even the people transporting her. She was on ice the whole time. And like Jinx, as he says that, you have like a flashback of seeing your dad and your uncle like load these like massive steel crates onto like one of the 18-wheelers that you had, like the modified trucks that you had. And now that you think of it, like, yeah, those were the size of like a coffin. Like it would fit a person lying down in it. And he continues and says, unfortunately, someone decided to betray me. It seems that some people, and his eyes sort of, go hazy for a moment. Some people treat human lives as stock, objects, inventory.
Yeah, that's sort of why we collaborated on the last thing we didn't do.
I know that Arasaka has a very bad reputation in Night City, but I assure you we are no more evil than those who tried to take my daughter from me. In fact, if anything, working for the Arasaka family brings a certain level of stability and safety to our workers. I do not know who betrayed us. All I know is that the Raffen Shiv fell out of the sky. You will remember, Jinx, that, they didn't fall out of the sky. They were... There weren't Raffen Shiv on the path there. In fact, why don't you relate what fragmented memories your child brain still has of what happened?
That night? Oh, God. Okay.
Well, I mean, you don't need to... You don't need to go chronologically or anything. Like, what do you remember?
Okay. Jinx remembers the family. We were going from point A to point B. And everything was really going fine. And then we were like looking for a place to camp, and we were going to set up at a place that our scouts had scouted and said, yeah, everything's cool, everything's nice and quiet. So, and she remembers everybody stopping and setting up, and people were talking and everything. And then, but there was like, weather-wise, there was a storm blowing through. So like there was dust and stuff getting kicked up. So at one point, once everybody was set up, she remembers like at one point the wind got so bad it was a bit of a dust storm. Like it was hard to see from one end to the other at one point. And then all she remembers is hearing gunshots and screaming and flashing lights, and she remembers hearing the roars of engines of different vehicles and just, yeah, gunshots, screaming, maybe an explosion or two. But by then it's like utter chaos. That's what she remembers. And then she remembers like she was like on her motorcycle and she was just like, getting ready for bed like everybody else. And then she remembers seeing her dad run past her and then her mother grabbing her and then just running and climbing into another vehicle and then taking off. That's basically what she remembers of that night.
It's like the rough and shiv fell from the sky. There was, and he looks to Jinx, a massacre. And for all these years, I thought my Makoto lost to me. She resurfaced a few months ago in Night City, paraded by that bitch Rogue. I knew I had to take Makoto out of there. There was a reason originally I tried to get her out of the city. She is not an heir to Arasaka or to its dynasty. But my role in the company cannot be overseen. That's not the word I'm looking for. Cannot be so easily dismissed. For her protection, I needed to make sure that she was sent away. I feel like that is futile.
I mean, cryostasis is a little bit of, I don't know, a little overprotective maybe? Like, it's a little extreme. How long were you planning on keeping her on ice? That's not good for the body.
Oh, originally she was just sent out of Night City in cryostasis so that she would not register as a person. So that the clan I hired would not be caught smuggling living beings. The crate we put her in was made so that, made to fool any scans. She would appear, for all intents and purposes, as a drum kit. Unfortunately, someone within the clan betrayed me. And he looks at Jinx. I do not suppose you know who.
I have an idea, because the fucker betrayed my whole family. So...
I do not know how he came to have this information, or what, or why he decided to do it.
money. That's all he cares about is money. Also, did my parents know that your daughter was in the crate? Okay, figured. I turned to the rest of the gang and I'm like, because my family doesn't traffic human. Like, we don't do human trafficking. Like, people need to go from point A to point B, we'll do that. But like, yeah, you get what I'm saying.
No, we get it.
And that is why I chose Oh no, shit, what's Morgan's... Warden. That's why I chose the Wardens. With the reputation that you had, no one would suspect you of smuggling a human person. And if you didn't know, then your reputation would have stayed unarmed, unblemished. I needed to send my daughter away from Night City, but there was no way, not after the bombs, that I could put her on a plane back to Japan. I needed to send her elsewhere, and fast. And then this traitor and the Shiv happened. And apparently, they left a few survivors behind. And I believe they are back in Night City to finish the job they started all these years ago. Something doesn't add up.
Well, yeah, they have a wanted post out for people. Your data included. They also have a convincing story that it's all about how the Wardens betrayed the code.
Ah, yes. he giggles a bit and says, "The concept of honor. I am somewhat familiar with it."
It's according to what you said, though, it's all fabricated. Because nobody was betrayed, like the way they said. Like, they didn't betray the nomads. They weren't working for a corporation in the way it's being painted. They're working for a corporation in the way that probably a lot of people, no offense, Jinx, but probably a lot of people didn't know that they were working for corporations. Because I'm assuming at some point in time, every nomad family ends up taking a job that they realize a couple years later was probably a front for a corp.
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, try not to let it happen, but yeah, it can happen.
And because of that, they're instead making it sound like the Wardens were trying to become exclusive to... But it wasn't Arasaka. They were floating, what was it? Biotechnica around? Isn't that what we heard?
They will float whatever story matches their actions,
Well, yeah.
justifies their actions.
They're also hitting a lot of places that are biomedical, lower end. Most of them, not main distribution hubs. But still. At first I thought it was just for med supplies, which would make sense. It makes a decent cover. But this sounds like they have something against Biotechnica that they want to do as well. Or extort.
Maybe they are looking for something in town, but that would be Shiv business, not mine.
No, but they wrapped your data into it, is what I'm saying.
I am hoping not.
Because if it's all connected, then it's all connected.
Can you all give me a moment?
Sure.
And Kiyoshi gets up and like just snaps his fingers. The doors open. He takes a few steps out, whispers something to one of the guards, and leaves. The guards close the door, but you hear them lock.
So, you know, they're probably going to hear this at some point in time because this place is probably bugged. But why? We've seen a lot of Biotechnica come up. We've seen now Arasaka and Kiyoshi-san involved with this. What are we missing? Something's going on here.
Yeah. I mean, from what I remember, my uncle had friends all over the place because, my family did get offers from Corps to like take over the business and everything because we were running it so well. And, you know, good business. So, but like my dad turned them all down because stays in the family. But I know from searching and everything that my uncle did reach back out to those companies. I don't know which companies because I was too young at the time, but it might have something to do with that. I don't know.
I don't know. It sounds like that business is basically over, though. There's not enough of you to keep it running. And he seems to be out as a contracted killer now, not even as though he's doing the business. So
yeah, well, it's because like he betrayed our family and then tried to keep the business going with some of his friends who are all on my hit list and half of them are dead. But basically, he tried to restart the business with the friends that he had, and it flopped because most of the people don't trust him. So, look, did he have another deal going on in the background for money or shit? I don't know. He became a hired killer, probably because too many people were out for him. I don't know.
Was he selling out all the people who were transporting legally to Biotechnica so they could do weird, creepy experiments on them and turn them into massive killers and release them out onto the world?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
that sounds like what IEC was doing.
Aren't they related?
No, that's Militech.
Aren't they related?
I don't think Biotechnica is a subsidiary of Militech, is it?
Nope. Biotechnica is the world's biggest, biomedical firm, or I should say corporation. Let's call them like the top four. They're definitely in the top four mega corporations. You would have right now Militech, Biotechnica, Petrochem, and
Arasaka is still in Japan.
Well, yeah, but let's talk like Night City, because otherwise Arasaka is still there in the world. But if we're talking like regional, where are my big players? I know there's more, but like continental. Oh God, I hate this word. Continental.
Continental. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That is a relatively new company.
Okay.
Yes, they're part of like the big ones, but they're more like a neocorp than anything. So if I had to say, I'd say probably Militech, Biotech, Petrochem, and in Night City I figure Giraffa is probably the next big one because of like the entire market for rebuilding and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, but just because they're not officially a subsidy, doesn't mean they don't do contract work. They're all.
But you said related. That to me means like, I don't know. I was thinking more important.
Oh, that they're
like that
more than just
businesses. Like every corp's got to do business with other corps in some level. There's no way around that, but
I'm muted. If, for example, Biotechnica comes up with like a super soldier serum, like they're gonna need people to test it out on. That's probably going to be like, they're probably going to go to Militech and be like, hey, so you have an R&D department, you probably have access to like files on some like private military personnel, like would you mind, here's like millions of Eurobucks, we're gonna take a few people, we're gonna experiment on them, and then we're gonna give them back to you. Like these things happen. You know, biotech doesn't do military, well, doesn't do weapons and arms. At the same time, you know, Militech doesn't do food. And others some such. But it's rare. It's rare.
Because the Raffenschiff are also taking people and smuggling people out. That's what we heard early on.
Yeah, well, that's what happened to, like, Julie. Where they're... But it doesn't seem like they are targeting specific people.
Yeah, it's just bulk people.
Yeah. And that, I mean, the Shiv were known, and Jinx can corroborate that information. The Shivs are known for, like, selling people into slavery in other parts of the world. Well, not the Shiv themselves, but the Shivs are going to be the people going and kidnapping people.
Gotcha.
Like
human trafficking.
Yeah. They don't do good things. But they're not, you know, they'll take any contract, any job. And the less ethical and moral, the better it is for them. I mean, remember, their leader is dressed in human skin.
The Raff and Shiv aren't real nomads to Jinx or any other family, like nomad family will say, like, Raff and Shiv aren't nomads. They're raiders. They're the lowest of the low. I mean, maybe we should have held on to the guys we saw at the night market and asked them more questions.
I don't think they know anything.
Maybe.
It's okay. We'll be able to find him. He's covered in glitter. That's iridescent and lights up and is affected by UV lights.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, we know where Dog Killer is. He's playing King of the Mountain over on the island.
Yeah, we're going to have to, like, take care of that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to that island without, like, radioactive protections.
Shouldn't we just draw him? Shouldn't we just draw him out to our turf or Night City itself?
I like
Why do we
his
have to go to
idea.
him?
Oh, we can do that. We just have to make sure it's...
I mean,
like,
if we beat up enough of his buddies, I'm pretty sure he's going to have no choice but to come out because, you know, if he decides that he's going to keep hiding over there, his crew is going to think he's a coward.
Eventually, yes. I mean, I'm cool with that. I don't mind dropping their numbers a bit.
He is a coward.
A lot.
I mean, you know, if we just do our guerrilla tactics, I'm to scare the hell out of them, I think we'd be okay. Might even be able to hire a couple of other edge runners to also hit them at the same time.
I'm game for that. I'd rather spend somebody else's money than ours, but...
Well, there are a couple of people out there who owe us favors at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you can also use a fixer to set up jobs of, like, hits on people. That is said, as you are talking about that and making plans and such, the door unlocks again. And in comes Mr. Kiyoshi. And he's carrying with him a plate, a platter, with, well, as he says, these facilities aren't the best stocked facilities, but he puts the platter on the table between all of you, and you see it's just a plate with a mountain of chocolate chip cookies and what appears to be synth chocolate milkshakes. I fear they do not have the same level of food that I could find in Night City, but I was told that these are everyone's favorite. And then you hear a woman's voice come out of the corridor. It says, I told you, Pa, the only people that don't eat chocolate chip cookies are monsters and robots. And oh, hi! And in comes Makoto. This youngish Asian American woman, her hair put up in a bun behind her head. She is wearing currently a bright pop pink top, kind of loose, over a sports bra, and clearly army pants, like with the camel pattern and everything. And two different colored and model of running shoes.
There's already a cookie in Jinx's mouth before anybody moves.
I'm hoping you didn't roofie these as well.
This guy just admitted to trying to drug us.
Look at it's cookies. I'm happy.
Cookies.
Oh, I assure you, there are no drugs in there. And as Makoto takes a seat, she says, yeah, no, the special ones I kept in my room.
You could have shared the special ones.
I only share special ones with special people.
You're cute. I like you.
And she turns to Kiyoshi and begins to speak in Japanese. She's saying, Unikitan. She says, Dad, are these supposed to be my new babysitters? And Kiyoshi just nods and turns to the rest of you and says, I have an offer for you.
I hope it's better than the last one you gave us.
You have so far proven to be people of trustworthy people. You are trustworthy people.
I like to think so.
That is why I would entrust upon you my daughter for safekeeping. She can be of use, and he turns to Jimenez. She doesn't speak for Arasaka, but she does know a few ways to help Night City. And while we do not have infinite resources, I am fairly certain your friend might be interested to hear her. Or you can take credit for it if you want. He just glances at Makoto and sort of mumbles in your direction. She is only interested in video games and firearms.
Should get along great at our apartment place.
I mean, I feel like she would be in better care with Jinx. I don't play video games. Who has time for that anymore?
I just meant amongst all of us, firearms and video games are about the only things that, we do to relax.
I'm boring. I jog in the mornings.
You also are the most popular of all of us.
He is. It might not look like it here, but word of your deeds in the ring have reached as far as this deserted place. Some of my people have asked for a dish so they can watch your matches. They are currently giggling like schoolgirls in the corridor. You have met them earlier.
Well, I guess I didn't really pick up on that.
I have hired them for their poker face.
Man, these cookies are great.
Thank you. They are made with chocolate and anthrax. No.
Huh.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was vaccinated against that. He just takes another cookie.
I know that Makoto will be safe with you, even though it would be in the middle of this rat-infested city.
I mean, once we get rid of the rats and the Raffenshiv, we clean up pretty good. So what's the offer? So far, it sounds like you've laid out the job.
What would you say? And we're gonna end that on that tonight. What would you say about your very own base of operation?
That isn't our apartment?
Highly customizable. And he takes his agent and he taps a few things. And the holographic display sort of pops up. You see a map of Night City, and then it zooms in to a place. If you look at the at the map in Roll20, it would be around this intersection. So not too far away from where you are. It says it looks like nothing. And he shows like it's like a block of like apartment buildings and everything. To the exterior, the outside eye. Everything in there used to belong to Arasaka. The place has been thoroughly cleaned out. But the infrastructure is still there. And he looks to Trince and says, I figured you would be happy with some of these things. And like by tapping on his agent, you see like there's an expansive garage underground with well, right now it's bare bones, but anything you would need. He signs a few other pictures. Like there was a med bay in there, there was an armory, a bunch of stuff. And he says, I can offer you this. It is in my power to do so. Otherwise, we will have it destroyed. And I can offer you what every edge runner wants. cold, hard Eurobucks. With a mouthful of cookies, Makoto is going to say, "I'll take the money." I will take the money. And we're gonna stop on that tonight. Give you a week to think. Out of game. Because in game you'll make your decision very quickly. Big silence.
I'm just thinking about which one would get us into the most trouble.
I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to convince Mrs. B to move apartments, because you know Trans is not going to want to move without Mrs. B moving.
Also, are they going to pay for the security upgrades that I've already performed on all of the apartments to upgrade to this new location?
So, out of game, sort of. You're not going to lose anything that you previously had. But there is a lot more that you can do in that place than you could do at the apartment. But then again, here's the downside of it, is the apartment is very much like a community type of place. It's very much like a just an everyday building that lives on through its people and the efforts and everything you've put into it. You know, the sweat and blood and all that. And they're basically offering you like this shiny new toy that you can play with, but that is essentially like soulless and bare. But that's up to you. You're gonna have a choice to make. Otherwise, money-wise, they will offer you 40,000 Eurobucks.
Split or each?
No, split. Come on.
It was worth asking. It's
I know, right?
I mean, honestly, the property's got to be worth more. We take the property, we sell it, we keep the money that we would have made off the sale of the property.
No, like he said, if you don't take it, they will raze it to the ground because it needs to not be.
Yeah, no. We take
we're
the
taking
property
But we're not going
and then sell it.
Yeah, and then they're gonna destroy it.
not our problem anymore.
Not our problem.
No, that's true.
That's true. We sold it.
Once the land deed is no longer in the possession of the seller and his contract is shifted it to the buyer's control, it is now in the property, and anything that occurs to the property is the problem of the buyer.
Hope they
I'm
bought
sitting
insurance.
Property book over there.
But morally speaking, do you think they're gonna evacuate the other place before bombing it to the ground?
Play on the takeover.
That's why we sell it to shady people we don't like.
Ooh.
Dog killer, you want a new house?
Anyway,
Let's make this place the Raffenschiff Sanctuary in Night City. But that said, we'll talk about that on the Discord in between or in our post-game chat if you want. But basically, that's sort of the offer that they make. It's either money. Basically, you're paid either in real estate or cash to babysit Makoto. You choose. But on that note, let's go around the table. If you have anything to shout out for next week or for this weekend, please do so. We'll begin with our MedTech, Mr. White.
hey everybody. My name is Chris Geary. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Geary. You can find me here on Fridays playing Mr. White, aka Dr. Frost. You can also find me every other Monday, rotating off of this upcoming Monday for 2 more sessions. It's the penultimate session of the Falkenstein Affair over on Action Fiction with Adelaide, who is not here tonight, but Adelaide is the one running that for us. And then soon, I was hoping to launch it today, but it's probably going to be this weekend or early next week. Omens Rising will be officially looking for channels to partner with to run some alpha play tests and with a number of our developers and folks on the team to show off what we're building and give you kind of a behind the scenes sneak peek of how we are designing this game and the types of things that we're putting into it. So that's coming soon. Check out for updates on that either on my Twitter or on @OmensRising on Twitter as well.
Thank you for coming, Chris. And yes, after having tried the character creation of Omens Rising, I will definitely keep an eye out for the rest of the game as it is played. Jinx! Hi, who are you? Where can we find you?
Am I Jinx or am I don't know. Hey, Amron. I'm just here every Friday. It never freaking changes. I'm trying to get fanfics out. I promise I'm trying, but work. Just brain. Yeah. Anyway, so at Heaven's Night on Twitter, Burns Through the Rain on Twitch, or yeah, just here. That's it.
For now. Next, Deirdre.
Well, hello. Sorry, I was not expecting that. I thought it would be a Nino next. But, hey all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, Praxorth as me before. You see me around on Twitch, your friendly neighborhood Prax. And there is no Romance of the Blue Rose on Sunday this week because of Holy Day and holiday family requirements. But we will be back on Wednesday over on my channel at 8 p.m. Eastern for the penultimate episode of Season 1. We are here for a wedding. And apparently there's some guests that have shown up that have maybe crashed the party. And some people possibly are now experiencing what happens when the abs give advantage, and we'll see what happens. And then that'll be Wednesday, and then I'll be back here on Friday, and then the following Sunday we'll be back with more Romance of the Blue Rose. Other than that, check my Twitter because I'm always post where I'm going to be. All the fun, wonderful people like these fabulous folks right here, all of them, follow all of them. They're cool that I get to hang out with, and see you next time.
Hannah, you're next.
Hi, I'm Hannah, Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation Studios on Instagram and Facebook. And you can find me here every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern for Cyberpunk. And on Saturdays, also here, 1 p.m. EST for Scion. Will we be having Scion this week, Simon?
Well, technically tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow, yes. Okay, good. Excellent. So find me there. And Anino as well.
I mean, unless everyone else can't because of Easter, I don't know. But so far, yes, I was going to shout it out. But first, Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Nino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. Like Hannah said, you can find me tomorrow, hopefully, on this channel again for Scion. And then stay tuned for a couple of other projects that are in the works. Should be a fun time. I think apart from that, I don't have anything else to plug right now. Nope, I don't.
For now. Because yes, there will be a lot of announcements coming up this month for both Wandering DM and other stuff. I am Simon, the eponymous Wandering DM. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. We will be back next week for some more, I was going to say Firefly, for some more Cyberpunk. Next Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern for some Cyberpunk, and then tomorrow at 1 p.m. we're going to play Scion, finally probably fight or confront Ulfer from Wolf Security. the big bad of our first season. Then on Sunday, you cannot find me in Romance of the Blue Rose, but I will be over here at home offline, so take that, life. And then on Monday, we're coming back for Rime of the Frost Maiden, where we will announce the winner of our giveaway for the Drist figurine. Then on nothing for
Wednesday.
now. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Because it's on Wednesdays. I'm crashing a wedding on Wednesday. I'm basically there to be a hot mess and make people have a lot of feelings.
As one does.
As one does.
You were typecast again. I see.
Yeah, but I brought this one on myself. But yes, I will be over on Praxagora Thesmophoria's channel to play some Witcher with my mage Kadern, and that is it for now. We'll see everyone next week over here. Chooms, thank you for tuning in, and stay safe. Bye bye.